Also, it came out over the weekend that Rishi Sunak's very, very strong on discipline, personal discipline. We had all these stories about his health patterns and what he does, particularly with fasting.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, David, with your doctor's hat on. So we're told that the Prime Minister stops eating at Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. on Sunday, and nothing, absolutely no food passes his lips until 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So he doesn't eat for a full 36 hours. He just has black coffee and water for that time. Now, apparently this is partly for health reasons because we're told fasting is very good for your metabolism, and he is a very slim man and we know that he likes to exercise, but it's also partly to keep in line with Hindu practice. And he's also, he's a famous teetotaler. But is this a good idea to go so long without food?
Yeah, I mean, so you're right, it's religious for him, but also if you look at what he's doing, you induce a state of ketosis. So instead of using glucose, what you're doing is using fat. And this is a really good tip, Ian. For middle-aged men, it actually reduces the belly fat. I'm joking.
Yeah, look at the size.
No, I'm actually talking to myself. But actually, it's a really good way of reducing belly fat. There's a lot of evidence as well about resting your bowel as well, because many people just continually keep eating. Of course, it's really important you have fluids. So coffee, tea is fine, and fluids generally. But the studies are good. It seems to raise your immunity. It seems to help with inflammatory markers. It seems to extend lifespan as well.
Because a lot of people would get very sort of hangry, as they call it, very grumpy as they get very, very hungry. And you'd think you wouldn't really want a grumpy PM who was lightheaded and moody.
Some people get the hungry high. They get very, very manic, very active, incredibly productive. I speak as someone who's starved herself for about 10 years, so I do know about this. It's not just the 36 hours that he isn't eating for. It is the discipline thing. It's the fact that someone who can do this, who can go a day and a half effectively without food, he's never going to be overweight and just sitting there. He's never going to be a man who's vegging on the sofa with a pizza. Look at Rishi Sunak. But he's kind of, he's quite peppy. He's always bouncing when you watch him doing. He's never still.
No.
So you can see that he will always have that.
I have a mate, and I bumped into him oddly in the gym, and I thought, what the heck's wrong with him? And he was doing the 72-hour fast Sunday night. So he looked like an extra from Stranger Things. I'm not kidding you. This guy did not look great. And I thought, is he going to survive this conversation? That's how bad it. I said, how's it going? He went, it's terrible. I said, are you hungry? Well, I'm bloody starving, mate. Well, eat something then.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
But you're right. I mean, it also, you see people, and maybe your experience, you can tell us, but also you're starting to break down muscle as well, because obviously you don't have that glucose. You also get problems with ketotic breath, and lots of people complain about the fact they have really smelly breath as a result of that particular diet.
What was it called?
Ketotic breath. So you're in a state of ketosis. So it shifts your metabolism. So you're burning different substrates. And that's why you lose weight. But if you do it
you get smelly breath.
You get smelly breath.
Can do.
Yeah.
Look, I fast every night.
But I would still argue that over the picture, if you looked at his week, it isn't necessarily about this faddy thing, this intermittent fasting. Over the week, he's probably at a kind of health, sub-health.
But the other thing about him, he's teetotal.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing you should give up, is alcohol.
It's just sugar.
Which is just sugar.
Yeah. Good advice for all of us. Will we listen? Nope.